Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So students, today I will be starting transcription and RNA processing. Transcription, you all know what is transcription. Actually, transcription is the biosynthesis of RNA molecule taking DNA, taking one of the strand of the DNA as the template. So you know that there are two strands of the DNA in nucleus. And if one strand is acting as the template for the RNA to be synthesized, the other strand is known as the coding strand. Right? So first of all, we will be studying the learning objectives. What we will be learning in the end of this lecture. They are describe process involved in transcription, post-transcriptional processing in prokaryotes, describe inhibitors of prokaryotic transcription and their clinical significance, describe process involved in transcription in eukaryotes, describe post-transcriptional processing in eukaryote, and explain what is reverse transcription. Reverse transcription, you also know from the central dogma of genetic engineering. Sometimes from the RNA, the DNA is synthesized, that is known as the reverse transcription. So separately, I will be telling you about the reverse transcription. In this slide, in this lecture, I will be giving you the transcription. Transcription and post-transcriptional processing in prokaryotes. Transcription is defined as the synthesis of RNA molecule using DNA as a template that result in the transfer of the information stored in the double-stranded DNA into a single-stranded RNA, which is used by the cell to direct the synthesis of proteins. You see, you know that DNA is a double-stranded molecule and RNA is a single-stranded molecule. The sugar is deoxyribose in DNA and it is ribose sugar in the RNA, and the base thymine is not there in the RNA. It is uracil in the RNA and it is thymine in the DNA. So at the place of thymine, uracil will be in the RNA. That is the difference. Otherwise, RNA is a single-stranded molecule. So that is the single-stranded molecule of RNA is synthesized by RNA polymerase. More precisely, you can say DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. And then what is happening? This one of the strand is acting as the template. So in the RNA, A will bind with the uracil, G will bind with the cytosine, and A strand is new strand is synthesized. That is the RNA strand. So that is transcription. These are the types of RNA I am giving you. These are messenger RNA, ribosomal RNA, and transfer RNA. In addition to these three main, we are having several small nuclear RNAs. All are transcribed from DNA. The first three RNAs are involved in the protein synthesis, means messenger RNA, ribosomal RNA, and transfer RNA. They are the first three RNAs are involved in protein synthesis, and small nuclear RNA involved in mRNA splicing. Okay? RNA splicing. Splicing, you know, actually the RNA which is formed after transcription is a primary RNA, or you can say transcript. It is the RNA transcript. So after splicing and after the post-transcriptional modification, it is becoming full-fledged active RNA. That I will be telling you later on. So these are the basic requirements for the transcription. They are template. Template we know. It is DNA. DNA is the template. One of the strand of the DNA is acting as the template. What is substrate? The nucleotides. And what is enzyme? RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase, DNA dependent RNA polymerase. So these are the basic requirements for the transcription. What is template? A single strand of DNA. I told you several times. A single strand of DNA acting as a template. The DNA strand that is transcribed to RNA molecule is referred to as template strand. Right? And the other strand which is not transcribed is known as the coding strand of the gene. Coding strand of the gene. These are the substrate: adenosine triphosphate, guanosine triphosphate, cytidine triphosphate, uracil triphosphate. These are nucleotides. So what is there in ATP? A ribose sugar, then 3 phosphate molecules, and you can say, yes, who is there? Yes. Okay. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Means what is there in this adenosine triphosphate? The ribose sugar is there and 3 phosphates molecules, and on one end of the ATP you will find an adenine molecule. So complete nucleotide is having a base, is having a ribose sugar and 3 phosphates. So it is making a one nucleotide, that is ATP. GTP at the place of adenine, guanine is there. Cytidine at the place of adenine, this cytosine molecule, and in the UTP at the place of adenine you will find the uracil molecule. So they are the highly rich molecules acting as the nucleotides of the RNA. It is enzyme, DNA dependent RNA polymerase called RNA polymerase. DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Why DNA dependent? Because it is taking DNA as the template. So DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Prokaryotes have single RNA polymerase. Prokaryotes have single RNA polymerase that is transcribed to all 3 RNA, that is messenger RNA, ribosomal RNA and transfer RNA. These all types of RNA are made by the single RNA polymerase, which is DNA dependent RNA polymerase in the prokaryotic cell. But in eukaryotes, we have 3 RNA polymerases designated polymerase 1, polymerase 2 and polymerase 3. They are the RNA polymerase in a eukaryotic cell. What is the function of RNA polymerase 1? It is the synthesis of ribosomal RNA. RNA polymerase 2, synthesis of messenger RNA and small nuclear RNAs. RNA polymerase 3, synthesis of transfer RNA. And you will find another mitochondrial RNA polymerase synthesize all the 3 types of RNA in the mitochondria. Okay? Mitochondria RNA polymerases are different than the RNA polymerases here. 1, 2, 3. Now you come to the RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase contains 5 subunits: 2 alpha, 1 beta and 1 beta prime, 1 omega. So they are 5: 2 alpha, 1 beta prime, 1 beta and 1 omega. They are the subunits of the enzyme RNA polymerase. The active enzyme or the holoenzyme contains core enzyme and a 6th subunit called sigma factor. Okay, sigma factor is, you can say, a constituent, temporary constituent, because when a transcription is done, this sigma factor is removed after a small fragment biosynthesized. And this sigma factor subunit bind to the core enzyme and directs enzyme to specific binding site on the DNA. So I am telling you that RNA polymerase contains 5 subunits, 2 alpha, 1 beta, 1 beta prime and 1 omega. These are the 5 subunits of the RNA polymerases. And in addition to these 5, we are having a short time sub-factor also, that is sigma factor in the RNA polymerase. And what is the function of this RNA polymerase sigma factor? The sigma factor binds to the core enzyme and directs the enzyme to a specific binding site on the DNA. It is actually this sigma factor is ensuring the binding of RNA polymerase on a correct binding site. Okay, that I will be explaining you. RNA polymerases lack proofreading 3' to 5' direction. Okay, so they are not smart enzymes. Exonuclease activity as that of DNA polymerase. DNA polymerase is a smart enzyme. Okay, it is able to proofread. But this RNA polymerase cannot proofread any enzyme. RNA polymerase require magnesium and zinc for the activity. They are the cofactors. So many times I told you that enzyme may be requiring a cofactor or coenzyme for its activity. So magnesium and zinc, they are the cofactors of the RNA polymerases. Okay, they are the cofactor of the enzyme RNA polymerase. It is the structure of RNA polymerase. 2 alpha are there, 1 beta prime, 1 omega and 1 sigma. This sigma is temporary unit. Okay, that I will be telling you. These are 3 steps: initiation, elongation and termination. Initiation, elongation and termination. Come to initiation. Initiation of transcription involve binding of RNA polymerase, means core enzyme, means all the 5 units of enzyme, 2 alpha, 1 beta, 1 beta prime, 1 omega and sigma factor. They all are binding to the DNA template at promoter site. At promoter site, this RNA polymerase will bind along with all the cofactors, along with all the constituent enzymatic units. The sigma factor facilitates the RNA polymerase to recognize and bind to the promoter sequence. This sigma factor is ensuring that this RNA polymerase is binding on the correct site on the promoter. Okay, promoter are characteristic sequence of DNA which are different in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Promoters are, actually promoter is the site where the RNA polymerase will go and bind. Where the RNA polymerase will start its functioning is known as the promoter site. You see, there are 2 sequences. Pribno box, it is the box of 10 nucleotides or 10 region and 35 region. This is Pribno box. So you will find 10 nucleotides and you will find predominantly TAT, TAT. So you will find 10 base pairs away from upstreams to start point, right? In the next slide, I will show you how this Pribno box is there. And what is 35 is that it is the nucleotide sequence of 35 base pairs. And it is having TTG, ACA, predominantly TTG, ACA sequences. Okay, so the correct binding on the promoter site, right? So these are the, you can say they are the constituents of the promoter. If Pribno box is there, 35 region is there, then RNA polymerase will bind and this binding, the correct binding is ensured by the sigma factor to bind the enzyme near to close vicinity of the Pimno box and 35 region, and then only this RNA polymerase will bind to the DNA and will start the actual transcription. You see, it is 35 region and it is Pimno box, TAT-AAT, TAT-AAT, right? TGTT-GACA. It is 35 region, it is Pimno box, right? And they are the constituents of the promoter site in the DNA. Then you will find a gene which has to be transcribed. So RNA polymerase will start functioning here, making the RNA by the RNA polymerase. Prokaryotic promoter site for transcription. It is the site for the transcription. Promoter sequence directs RNA polymerase to initiate transcription at a particular point known as start point ending or initiation site. The binding of the RNA polymerase to the DNA template result in unwinding of DNA double helix. Right? You understand very well that DNA is a supercoiled molecule, and if some procedure is required, if replication is to be started, if transcription is to be started, then the two strands should be separated. RNA polymerase then begins to synthesize a transcript of DNA sequence and short piece of RNA is made. RNA polymerase then begins to synthesize a transcript of DNA sequence and short piece of RNA is made. What is I am telling you? RNA polymerase then begins to synthesize a transcript of DNA sequence and short piece of RNA is made. Okay? As with replication, transcription is always in the 5' to 3' direction. The first base is usually a purine nucleotide. By the time 10 nucleotides have been added, the sigma unit is dissociated. It is dissociates. So I told you that it is a temporary site and it is removed after the addition of 10 nucleotides in the messenger, in the RNA, I can say. So I repeated, RNA polymerase then begins to synthesize a transcript of DNA sequence and short piece of RNA is made. As with replication, transcription is always in 5' to 3' direction. The base is usually a purine nucleotide, and by the time these 10 nucleotides are added in the RNA, the sigma factor dissociates from the RNA polymerase. Now come to the elongation. Means transcription is going on. Sigma is released and RNA polymerase move along the template strand and continues the elongation of the transcription. Okay, sigma is released and RNA polymerase move along with the template. Template is DNA, it is moving along with the template and continues the elongation of the transcript. And the process of elongation of the RNA chain continues until a termination signal is reached. Until a termination signal is reached. Okay. Now I will show you two slides and you will find a pictorial representation. It is the process of transcription in prokaryotes. Recognition of promoter by sigma factor, binding of core enzyme and start the synthesis of RNA, elongation continue until termination region is reached, termination of transcription by Rho factor, and newly synthesized RNA primary transcript. These are the steps in the transcription of prokaryotes. You see, this is the recognition of promoter by sigma factor. It is RNA polymerase. It is DNA sequence. DNA means it is a DNA which has to be transcribed, and this is the coding strand of the DNA in 5' to 3' direction. It is the coding strand and it is the transcriptions. Okay, so RNA will bind, RNA polymerase will bind, and it will start biosynthesizing. So here in this promoter site region, you are having a Prugnavox and you are having a 35 region. Then RNA polymerase will start its functioning, and once 10 nucleotides are added in the RNA, this sigma factor is removed and RNA polymerase will continue to synthesize the new RNA. You see, this is the more easy diagram. Bubble is there. It is core enzyme RNA polymerase, and this new one is the RNA which is synthesized here. Okay, it is new. It is the stop sequence. It is the termination sequence. So it will continue. It will continue to synthesize the RNA until this stop sequence is coming here. Right? So you will find a row factor here. You may find a row factor or you may not find a row factor. Actually, there are two mechanisms, row factor dependent and row factor independent, that I will be telling you later on. So 5' and 3', 3' to 5', these are the strands of the DNA, and then you will find a blue one. It is the messenger RNA, which is it may be a messenger RNA, it may be a ribosomal RNA or transfer RNA, but RNA is synthesized here like this. And it is row factor dependent. Row factor, where is this? It is attached to the termination sequence or the stop sequence. In prokaryotes, termination of transcription occurs by one of the two mechanisms, row dependent and row independent. As I told you, it may be row dependent or it may be a row independent. So you can see here the newly synthesized RNA. Okay, and it is terminated here. So you are getting a single stranded RNA from a double stranded DNA transcription. After transcription, you are having a newly synthesized RNA. A hairpin loop structure followed by a sequence of uridine residue at the 3' end of the messenger RNA transcript. Okay, so when messenger RNA is formed, it is taking a structure of hairpin style, hairpin loop structure, and you will find on the 3' end, you will find a terminal uridine sequence in the messenger RNA. Right? These are some characteristic things. You will find a uridine sequence at the 3' end in the messenger RNA. Post-transcriptional processing, the RNAs formed during transcription are allowed primary transcript. The primary transcript normally undergo further enzymatic alteration called post-transcriptional processing. So once RNA is formed, it has to be modified. Right? There are many ways of modification. It has to be modified before making it to a precisely active RNA molecule. Okay, so it is very primary molecule. It is known as primary transcript. It is biosynthesized, and after the post-transcriptional processing, it will be activated. Post-transcriptional processing is required to convert the primary RNAs into functional or active forms. So RNA is active after the post-translational processing. These are many ways of processing, like cleavage of large precursor of RNA to a small molecule, splicing, terminal addition of nucleotide, nucleoside modifications. These are the all types of processing. It is messenger RNA processing. In prokaryotes, messenger RNA is not post-transcriptionally processed. Prokaryotic messenger RNA is functional immediately upon synthesis. Okay? In prokaryote, messenger RNA is not post-transcriptionally processed, but prokaryotic messenger RNA is functional immediately upon synthesis. Okay? In prokaryotes, messenger RNA is activated. It is not post-transcriptionally processed. In eukaryotes, the primary transcript of messenger RNA is heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Okay, in eukaryotes, you will find that messenger RNA is synthesized. It is like the heterogeneous nuclear RNA. After transcription, this hRNA is extensively modified to form functional messenger RNA. So what I told you, that in prokaryotes, the messenger RNA is not requiring any post-transcriptional modification. It is activated soon after the synthesis. But in eukaryotes, this messenger RNA is heterogeneous nuclear RNA type, and after transcription, this heterogeneous nuclear RNA is extensively modified, right? Good amount of modification is there to form functional messenger RNA. These are involving 5' capping. The 5' end of eukaryotic messenger RNA is kept with 7-methyl-guanylate. You will find a cap. The 5' end of eukaryotic messenger RNA is kept with 7-methyl-guanylate. The 3' end of most eukaryotic messenger RNA is having a possesses chain of 200 to 300 adenine nucleotide and called poly A tail. A. Okay, this tail is, you will find a tail on the 3' end, and when I will be teaching you protein synthesis, I will be explaining you what is the role of this poly A tail. Poly A tail is not transcribed by DNA, but rather it is added after transcription. So take a note, it is not transcribed by the DNA, it is added after transcription. So you can say that it is included in the post-transcriptional modifications. Introns, you know what is intron? You will find a long chain of RNA molecule, but you will find many non-translationable sequences. They are introns. They are introns. So what we need, we need that introns should be removed. Okay. Once introns are removed, you will be having a comparatively smaller length of RNA, but that is activated. Okay, messenger RNA. So these introns should be removed, or only the exons should be there. Introns are useless. They are non-transcriptionable sequences. And then exons are the coding sequences. Introns are nucleotide sequence on messenger RNA that do not code for proteins. They are non-transcriptionable sequences. Exons are the coding sequence that code for the proteins. The process by which introns are excised and exons are linked to form functional mRNA and messenger RNA is called splicing. Okay. What is there in the transfer RNA? Cleavage of 5' leader sequence. Again, the splicing to remove introns. Here also introns are there, they should be removed and only exons should be allowed. Replacement of 3' terminal UUU by CCA in the transfer RNA. Actually, what is happening? In the transfer RNA, after processing it, taking a structure of clover leaf, and you will find on one end CCA sequence, which is the site for the binding of amino acid in the proteins. So replacement of 3' terminal UU by CCA sequence. Modification of several bases, example uridylate is modified after transcription to form ribothymidiolate and pseudouridylate. So these are the all points of tRNA processing. Ribosomal processing. The ribosomal precursors called pre-ribosomal RNAs are cleaved and trimmed to produce the matured functional RNA, ribosomal RNAs. Okay, so they are found in the ribosomes. Ribosomal RNA, it is the constituent of the ribosome. These are the terminator inhibitors of transcription in the prokaryotes. Rifampin, it is an anti-tubercular drug, rifampin. You know there are 4 drugs of tuberculosis: isoniazid, rifampin, ethambutol, pyrazinamide. They are all the drugs of tuberculosis. So it is rifampin. It is an anti-tuberculosis drug which inhibits the initiation of transcription by binding on beta subunit of prokaryotic RNA polymerase, and rifampin has no effect on eukaryotic nuclear RNA polymerases. So this rifampin is stopping the bacteria, and how? By inactivating its RNA polymerase. It is binding on the beta subunit. You know, alpha, beta, beta prime. They are all the subunits. So to on beta subunit, this rifampicin or rifampin is they are binding, and it is acting as the antibiotic. Dactinomycin, we call it also actinomycin D also. It is a therapeutic agent in the treatment of some cancer. Okay, it binds tightly and specifically to double helical DNA and thereby prevents the movement of the RNA polymerase. Transcription and post-transcriptional processing in eukaryotes. I think it is the end of my lecture today, and I will be giving you this transcription and post-transcriptional processing in eukaryotes in my next lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.